Good evening, beautiful people. Namaste. This video will find you when you're ready to heal completely. And this does not happen by fluke. Because currently I am on my healing journey. I am ready to heal completely, and I hope my healing journey will give you some help as well. So when you're starting to heal, usually you have to go through the darkest time of your life. Usually for me it's through actually a breakup, and then I would self-reflect and see what's going on exactly. And then in my last relationship, I felt so desperate after the breakup because it was extremely toxic and we were cheating on each other, and it ended up making me feel like I literally want to kill myself. But just at that exact darkest moment, I cried my eyes out. I don't know what to do. And then the divine came to me, showed me that everyone is capable of love and compassion, and everyone is capable of forgiving. Especially, we need to forgive ourselves. We're here to learn. Even when we're making mistakes, it could be the best thing that has ever happened to us, because through the worst mistakes, you actually grow so much. I actually learned from this toxic relationship and learning how to see the red flags early, and then also admitting my own fault. Relationship is a two-way street. It takes two to tango. So for me to be feeding onto my narcissistic ex avoidant energy, I had to people please. I had to bend myself over to fit his needs. And in turn, I lose myself. And if I were to be able to see those red flags early enough and have a healthy communication skills, I wouldn't have ended up in that desperation. But because of that desperation, that's what I needed to see things more clearly. That's what I needed to be able to start loving myself, to start going inwards, to start really reflecting what went wrong. And then going even back to my childhood and thinking the darkest moment where I felt abandoned by my mom when she was beating me up, when I felt I need to hide my emotions to be able to survive or to be able to get that love from my mom. And I realized that for 35 years of my life, I hide my emotions. I don't even know what emotions I had. And now I'm starting to feel my emotions. And then give you an example at my recent situationship when the guy left. And I felt this emptiness and sadness in my heart. And then instead of getting substances to numb myself, or maybe acting out or making a scene with him, or using other forms of videos or to distract me, I crawled into my bed, into a ball, into a fetus position, and I felt that emotions. I felt it deeply. Then I realized there's nothing wrong of feeling my emotions. I felt sad. That's my intuition tell me that this relationship does not serve me, does not serve my highest purpose anymore. Nobody needs to be left in a relationship felt empty, felt unseen, felt unloved. And yes, the other person might not be doing this on purpose, but it is also my own emptiness and emotional unavailability that attracted the other person. Because I felt insecure within myself. So to be able to love myself, I have to let go of all the fears. I have to let go of the fear that maybe I'll end up alone. I have to let go of the fear of feeling insecure in a relationship so that I had to overcompensate or prove my worth to the other person to be able to be chosen. It's actually a little twisted. Yes, we want to be chosen, but we don't need to do anything to be chosen. We just have to be our highest, most authentic self. Because when we're at our highest, most authentic self, we choose ourselves. I choose me now. When we're at our most authentic self, everything will flow easily for us. We will be aligning to our Dharma. We will start doing the things that we love. And then in turn, nourish ourselves to gain more confidence, to gain more security within our own skin. And I have to get rid of the fear that for being alone. Being alone is not scary at all. It's actually a beautiful thing for me to be able to go inwards and learn about myself, so that I have time to actually heal my childhood wounds, so that I have time to reflect and heal the wounds with my mom. And I went to talk to my mom yesterday. Be like, Mom, you beat me up really bad twice. Why? Tell me, Mom. And then my mom was like, well, I only beat you up twice. Why are you acting out? It's nothing. Because in China, it's actually very twisted that a lot of the kids getting beat up on a daily basis. So in my mom's mind, getting beat up twice is nothing. But then I reached out over to her like, what if my dad beat you up with like a broomstick? Or even punched you in the face, or even slapped you in the face? What would you feel? And then my mom was like, how dare he? He could never. And then I was like, exactly. Why would you beat me up when you cannot accept violence from my dad? And you say that you love me even more than you love my dad. Then why would you beat me up? And my mom thought about it. It's like, well, I was too stressed out from work. And I was like, well, if you're stressed out from work, what would be a way for you to let out of that stress instead of getting it onto my body? My mom was like, I don't know. Back in the day, there's nothing that I could do. I'm just so exhausted from work. And I was like, well, then what do you do now? She's like, I do Tai Chi and I go for a walk. And I was like, well, then go back that time and imagining that you are doing Tai Chi and you are going out for a walk to get some fresh air instead of letting your anger onto me. And my mom was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's possible. And I was like, well, then what would you do differently? Say the first time is when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I wanted ice cream. And my mom was like, well, you were acting out and then it was snowing outside. I couldn't do anything. And I was like, there's always a thing to do, Mom. Open your mind. You can do something different. And my mom was like, I was like, what about taking me out for a walk? You know, She's like, well, last time I took you for a walk in the shopping mall, you literally got lost. I got so scared, so I don't ever want to lose you again. I was like, well, yeah, what about just in our complex? She's like, what about, like, she's like, it's snowing outside, but what about making a snowman? I was like, making a snowman is so fun for kids. And my mom is like, there's not enough space to make a snowman. I'm like, that's literally just excuses. You can make a very small snowman, or you can even just like play fight, throw snowballs around. Or she's like, there's no room. And I was like, well, literally, you can just take me out and look at the snowflake. Because did you know that every single snowflake is different, yet it all came from the sky just like us. We're all different, yet we're all connected to the same source. And then my mom is like, oh, right, yeah. I guess there are a lot of things that you could do. I was like, what about painting? What about reading me a book? There's so many things that you could distract me from the feeling that I had that I want to eat ice cream. Because kids just want to play and have fun, right? And that's what we came to this universe to do, is actually just to have fun and enjoy ourselves and relax and act like a child and be like a child and always be curious like a child. So when I guide my mom to go back to my childhood and also guide both of us to tap into that kid's mentality again, I can see our generational trauma healing. And then my mom was like, oh, right, yeah. I could have taken you out just to play with the snow. I could have taken you out just to get some fresh air. We could have just look at the snowflakes and you'd be so happy looking at the snowflakes. Yeah, I'm just a little kid. I'm not that hard to like please. Literally, like, play with some mud, play with some dirt, play with some snowflake, and look at some snowflakes. Make a snowman. It'll be the happiest day of my life instead of getting beat up because I wanted ice cream. It's just like we're so conditioned to believe that we have to do certain things to feel loved. But if you have a little baby, if you were a little baby, do you need to do anything to be loved? No. A little baby deserves the love from the mother, from the dad. It just does. The little baby doesn't need to prove a certain way to be loved. And that came back to how to heal our wounds as well. Even though we're adults right now, but it's the same theory. We don't need to do anything to be loved. This universal consciousness, our higher self, love us. We love ourselves. So now I'm nurturing my inner child. I'm acting like a mother to my mom. I'm acting like a mom to my small self. To that little girl, be like, yes, let's go play. Let's go get some snow. Right? And then I told my mom, like, okay, now let's go back to the second time that you beat me up. You know, I just graduated from elementary school, and all I wanted to have is some friends to play. But because I was the only child and I went to a new district, so I didn't know anybody there to play. So I was complaining to my mom, be like, I feel bored, Mom, like, what do I do? And my mom got so angry, started beating me up so hard with a broomstick. Even my grandma was trying to stop her and she wouldn't. And I was just crawling on the ground, crying so hard, feeling the pain in my heart and my body. And I went back there and I was like, Mom, if you were 3-year-old and 12-year-old and now I go beat you up, would you be happy? Would this traumatize you for the rest of your life? Yes, of course, my mom said. yeah, now she feel it. You just have to let other people standing in your position when you're trying to heal that generational trauma. But if your mom is not as reachable as my mom, you can also heal yourself, because remember, we're our own divinity, we're our own mother. So we can act out like our own mother. So in that kind of situation, I was like, Mom, then you could have just like took me out to the mall, go for a walk, go to the riverside. Maybe we can go fly some kites instead of beating me up. There's so many things that we could do together outside to have fun, to enjoy life. My mom is like, all right. My mom is like, well, but I signed you up in the end to go to like an activity extracurricular group. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But in that moment, you could have just tell me like, oh, like, I'm so sorry you feel bored and this way, but there are so many things that you can do or we can do together. Like, my mom could have teach me how to paint. My mom could have sing us some songs together. We could dance together. We could go to the riverside. There's just literally unlimited possibilities in this world to have fun with your kids instead of like beating them up or getting mad at them. Think about it. Right? So when we're ready to heal, I realized that I am able to forgive my mom now. We have this honest conversation now. And I am so loved and blessed by the universe that my mom was able to, in the end, admit her own fault. So I was like, Mom, you beat me up twice. And then she's like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And period, that's it. And she also learned how to apologize without making excuses. And I'll do the same. Like, sometimes it might not be perfect. We go back to our same old patterns, but at least now we have this awareness, we have this conscious that we are all about love. Only love heals. So I really hope this video helps you on your healing journey as well. And follow me for more healing, because I deeply realize my dharma is to heal myself, to help heal the others. I love you guys so much. I send you unconditional love, abundance, wealth, and health. Namaste.